Alright, welcome to the final video under negative numbers, multiplication and division, unless Khan Academy makes some changes, but this is, as of today, the final one in this category, or in this topic. So, equivalent expressions with negative numbers, multiplication and division. So, let's start. Which of the following expressions are equivalent to 2 times the quantity n plus n? There's a couple different ways you can think of it. I'm going to show you both of them. Let's start with just adding n plus n in the parentheses. So you would get 2 times, n plus n would be 2n. So 2 groups of 2n is 4n. The next one is, if you recall the distributive property from 6th grade, which we will get into when we get into equations. 2 times n is 2n, and 2 times that n is also 2n. So 2n plus 2n is 4n. So 4n if I do it this way, 4n if I do it that way, so that one matches. This one does not match because that's not 4 times n, that's actually 2 times n squared, which means 2 times n times n. Not the same as 4 times n, so only the second one is correct. Next one. Which of the following expressions are equivalent to 3 groups of, or 3 times r plus 4? So once again, we haven't really done the distributive yet, but I'm going to show you. This really means I have 3 groups of r plus 4. So if you think about it, that's r plus 4, plus r plus 4, plus r plus 4, right? And if I combine my r's, I end up with r plus r is 3r. And my 4's, positive 4 and positive 4 and positive 4, makes 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 4 is 12. 3r plus 12, right? I can get the same thing by distributing. 3 times r is 3r. 3 times positive 4 is positive 12. So either way you look at it, you're going to get 3r plus 12. So that works out. Now this one is 12 plus r plus 4. Remember, we've spoken before about, since this is all addition, it doesn't really matter if I add r plus 4 or 12 plus r. It doesn't matter the order in which I add these. And clearly, this is not 3 times r plus 12. This is something different. So that is not the same as the other one. I believe there's only one more exercise. Maybe 2. Which of the following expressions are equivalent to negative 5 times 1/4 times 3? Well, let's get the sign out of the way. Negative times a positive is a negative, and that negative times this positive makes a negative final answer. All right. So now let's actually evaluate. This is negative 5 over 1 times 1/4, which is negative 5 over 4. And we're going to take that and multiply, right, 5 over 4. And we're going to take that and multiply it by 3 over 1, which is going to give me negative 15 over 4. So this comes out to negative 15 over 4. All right. Let's look at this one. Negative 5/4. Let me change the color up so we're looking at something different. Oops. So, back to negative 5 over 4 times 3, which means 3 over 1. Well, a positive times a negative is a negative. Numerator is 15. Denominator is 4. Negative 15 over 4 matches negative 15 over 4, so that one does match. Let's try this one. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So this becomes negative 15 over 1 times 1/4. I just kind of simplified this to that. So negative 15 over 1 times 1/4 is negative, because a negative times a positive, 15 over 4, which matches that. So both of these are equivalent. One more, which is the equivalent expression to, uh, which of the following expressions are equivalent to negative z times z times z? Well, let's get the sign out of the way. A negative times a positive is a negative, and that net positive, yeah, take a step back. Negative times a positive is a negative, times that positive makes their final answer a negative. Okay. Now we do z times z times z is z to the third power. So this comes out to negative z to the third power. All right. Does that match this one? Well, the answer is no, it doesn't. That's negative 3 times z. This is negative z times z times z. This z is being multiplied by itself 3 times. Here, negative 3 is multiplying z, so this one does not match. All right, but this one, we have z times z times z, so we do have the z to the third, and we have a positive times a positive is a positive, times this negative is a negative. So yeah, this one matches the original, so there we go. That's the only one that matches. Hope you enjoyed the video. Time to move on to next topic.